We're back from Kansas City.
Back.
Back.
Home.
Back. Are you like...
Back to the... And now we have snow. We didn't have snow in Kansas City at
Yeah,
all.
why
We
did
have
you-
snow in Kingman.
We definitely had Kansas weather.
Well, yeah, it was
Here.
chilly, but... Oh, yeah, here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you exhausted this morning?
Not really exhausted. Not as much as I have been, like, in the previous weeks. Why?
Because on Monday, I was just tired from that trip back.
Huh. No, I wasn't. I slept pretty good there on that trip.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Now, we were going to do this in Kansas City. That was our plan. You wanted to turn this on in the car, driving around while we were in Kansas City. But we could not because I have never seen a city.
Kansas has like 400 freeways that run through it. Kansas City. Right. It's insane. It's like there was just numbers after numbers. And then you get off on the left and on the right.
Yeah.
So you have exits there. So if you get on a new freeway, you're in the right lane, obviously, and then they're like, now get over in the left lane because you got to get on that number.
Right. Well, the thing is when you go
try
there,
to dodge people.
When you go there, do not look at a map and do not use Siri to guide you.
No, when you go there, do rideshare. Have people that are from there drive you around.
Yeah, because Siri would be like, okay, take your next left. Okay. And then you'd only have like less than a quarter mile to your exit. Now go take the exit to your right. And you barely had the time to cut across 3 lanes of traffic to get on that exit.
Yeah.
And then it would be like, it was all like, get off on left, to the right. Highway 71, Highway 271, whatever it was.
35.
59. Yeah,
then
35.
70. Then there was 3-digit ones too.
And then, I'm sorry, Kansas City, we're not going to shit on you the whole time. But whoever plans the road construction on Kansas City, can't they do one section at a time?
Okay, I found out what that was. My cousin told me because he ended up coming to visit his mom. So they're putting in the light rail. That's why it's like that. Yeah. Yeah, that I'm like, okay, that makes sense why they have the whole thing torn up. Because I'm like, do one section at a time. But then, because the light rail is going to run all along Grand.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense now, huh?
Yeah, because your hotel was a bitch to get in and out of.
I know.
Because it was that. Oh, yeah, then Siri's telling you to stay in the middle lane. But it's not a middle lane. Of course, I guess Siri doesn't know that there's construction going on either.
Right. Yeah. I think some of the apps will update, if there's like accidents or construction or whatever, I think they can do it, but who knows? Maybe not Siri. Maybe she can't.
And Siri does get a little bit discombobulated where she will say, stay in the left lane. Now exit right. Immediately.
Yeah.
Or go through the next light, and at the next light after that, take a left, and there would be no light there at all.
Right. Or there'd be a lot of traffic, and you couldn't get over. You're like, if you would have told me sooner, then I would have made my way over. I don't like when she does that, when I'm like driving along, and I'm like, all right, like I need my direction soon, And then sometimes she won't tell you until you're after the exit. I'm like, where are you?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be helping me.
I went through that a few times where I was like, speak to me, Siri. Speak to me.
Yeah.
And, so we had separate hotels. So I dropped you and your mom off. It was lovely to meet Snow's mom finally after all these years. And drop you off at your hotel, and then I have to go back through that mishmash of highways to get back to my hotel. And I check into my hotel get my room key and I go up and my room key doesn't work. So I have to go back down and exchange room keys and wait in line with everyone else whose room keys did not work.
Oh, wow.
And at the same time, you text me that your room isn't ready.
Yeah. Yeah. They were not done cleaning it. So then when we were getting ready to go eat and then go to the concert, they changed shifts. So the new lady was like, well, I can check you in and I'll give you the cards, but they're still working on cleaning your room. I'm like, no problem. We're going to eat. And then we decided to just go down to the concert area after. So they had even more time.
Right.
So then we come back from the show at like midnight, close to midnight.
Probably close.
11 something.
Yeah.
Walk into the room. Ball of, like, the comforter was balled up on the, like, the lounge chair they had in there. And the beds were stripped and the pillows were stripped. So there was no pillowcases and no sheets.
Okay.
So it was almost like the maid had stripped the bed and then that's what they told us. Oh, she forgot to come back and clean it. Like, all right, this is great, you know. So the guy ended up, at first he's all like, he picks up the pillow and he goes, this looks clean to me. I'm like, there's not even a pillowcase on there. What are you talking about? You know? And so the guy in the morning was very helpful, though. He straightened it out, and what they did, though, that night was he went and got us sheets and towels, and we had to make our own beds.
Oh, God.
So they wouldn't agree to, they were like, well, we're not going to give you a whole night off. Because I'm like, you need to tell them that. And my mom's like, I already tried. They said what they'll do is they'll give you the reduced rate for all the 3 nights. And I'm like, whatever. And the guy on the morning shift, he tried really hard, like the whole time we were there. Oh, and our heater didn't work in our room. And they couldn't move us to another room because it was sold out for the show.
Yeah. It
was sold out. All the rooms were sold out. So again, in the morning, we went down, talked to the helpful guy. He moved our rooms. The heater worked fabulous. Everything was good after that.
But how cold did it get? Because this is Kansas City in February. How cold did it get that night?
Oh, it was cold because it kept saying that it was 70 degrees in there. And then I kept pushing it up, you know, and at one point I pushed it all the way up to 80 and you could feel it barely coming out. But there was clearly something wrong with it because, I mean, it was only, like I said, barely warm in the middle room where the vent was. And then the bedrooms were freezing. Like, I almost got up in the middle of the night and put my clothes back on to sleep in. So, I mean, you could totally tell the difference when we went into when they were able to give us another room.
God. So the room delay was almost a good thing because we got to Arthur Bryant's, which is supposed to be the best barbecue in Kansas City, at grandma hours. It's like 4:15.
Yeah,
you know,
and good thing we got there at old people hours.
Right, because at 5:30 or 5:15 or so, whatever.
The line was out the door.
Line out the door, yeah.
And waiting in that cold to get in.
Yeah, and now this place is famous. You know, we saw pictures of Obama had been there, John McCain, Jimmy Carter, have all gone to this establishment. You know, now I will say the food was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, but their process of ordering is kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Now, it would work if it wasn't busy, I think.
Well, yeah. Or it would work if they like took like you're crossing over people because then they just take the next in line to whatever. They have 3 separate windows. So you didn't know you were supposed to go next until they like yelled at you and told you,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah,
But you're afraid to say anything because you thought it would be like Seinfeld. It'd be like, no soup for you.
right. No barbecue for you.
Yeah, and then you can also order meats at this place to take home, and people were ordering pork, but they ran out of pork. Now, how does a barbecue place run out of pork?
They ran out of pork. They ran out of burnt ends because we all tried to get the burnt ends sandwich. They ran out of burnt ends, and I thought they ran out of one other thing.
Yeah, well then when we ordered, I was like, okay, well I'll just have the pulled pork then. But then I got the brisket instead.
I know.
Which was delicious. And with that many people in line, there's no way I'm going to go up and this isn't right. You know, I was just, all right, I'm just going to eat whatever they give me and fine.
Right.
But you got the pulled pork, but they stacked it on 2 slices of bread.
They put both pieces of the bread, the top sandwich bread and the bottom sandwich bread, they put on the plate and then they dumped the pulled pork on top of both of them. So I had to sit there and basically tear the bread into pieces and like pick the pork up and eat it.
Then they you went to get a fork to eat it with, and they didn't have any forks.
Couldn't find the forks, like they were all out and they weren't refilling them. And then I went up to try to get us another frozen beer mug. Well, I ended up getting it, but I thought the girl was going to murder me for asking for one. I mean, she was clearly in a pissed off mood. Every time she had to do something, it was like epic eye roll. And I mean, just mad dogging you. Just like mean stare. I'm like, I'm sorry we have 4 people. You only gave us 3 mugs, you know?
I wonder if it was because they knew that you were a 49er fan and I was a Patriot fan. And we were in Chiefs territory.
I don't know. No, it's not like we were wearing our gear.
Yeah.
So.
But no, food, good. And
I should give a shout out. I got to go to another barbecue restaurant the next day, Gates Barbecue.
Right, Gates, and that's what I was going to get to.
It was delicious. The people there are very friendly. Like they came over to your table and they're like, "Oh, can I take your tray for you?" Once you get, it's kind of got the same setup, but it's got 2 whole separate sides. You got a cashier over here and a cashier over here, and you got a cook in the back and another cook. So it's a much better system, you know, and then you take it and go sit down. But I liked their barbecue sauce way better than, I thought it had way better flavor than the one at...
Right, the one at Arthur Bryant was good.
It was very mild.
Good. Yeah, but
I had to keep squirting some on there because it was very thin too. I had to keep squirting it on my sandwich. Because I'm like, I can't taste it. You know, it's kind of dry.
Yeah. Well, in snow, thank you for bringing back the Gates rub.
Yeah, because I couldn't bring back sauce on.
Yeah, on a
you can't on your carry-on.
Right.
So
because we flew Spirit.
Oh God, I know.
And Spirit is what it is. You kind of know going in, and that's why we didn't pay for bags because we just get the seat.
Yeah, and we just did. It was such a short trip. We just did a personal item and put all of our stuff.
Yeah.
In our bigger bags, you know, a bigger purse, basically.
And Spirit, you know that you're going to be flying in a tight, you know, where you can't extend your arms. You kind of have to keep here, you know. And I sat in between this couple. Now, they must have gotten the aisle seat and the window seat hoping the flight wouldn't be full in that seat.
Right. They booked that probably so they're like, cool, we'll have the whole row to ourselves. Yeah. And then they end up with you.
So the entire flight, they're handing snacks back and forth. So I have their hands in my face and I'm having to smell their snacks as they pass them back and forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, you know, the guy couldn't get his earbuds to work. So they were passing them back and forth.
God.
You know, most people would be like, if
you can have the aisle or you can have the window.
Hey, do you mind if I sit next to my wife? Okay, right. There you go. No, that didn't happen.
Maybe they hate the middle seat that much. I mean, they're just like, We don't even care if they sit somebody in between us because we are not sitting in it.
Yeah.
The thing that I did not like the most about Spirit Airlines, for fuck's sakes, you can't get seats with like just a little bit of padding. It is like sitting on a fucking board.
Yeah.
A board. I'm like,
a board with a piece of leather over it.
Right. Why can they not put a piece of foam in there? Foam does not cost that much.
Yeah, and it's not going to take up seat space either.
I know. It's like, dude, my ass is killing me.
Yeah, and you don't have the room to stretch out because with your carry-on, you can't stretch your legs out underneath the seat in front of you.
Even if you have it, like I have such long legs, like my legs will hit the front of the other person's, where the other seat is.
Well, thankfully I had third row, so you have the first 2 rows of big front seats.
Oh, yeah.
And then the third row, you have leg space before that seat. So it wasn't as bad because I was able to, extend my legs a little bit.
Yeah. I was glad I at least had an aisle because then I could kick out my right leg and stretch it every so often.
Okay. As long as the beverage cart wasn't coming through.
Yeah.
So what did you have at Gates?
I finally got my burnt ends.
Oh, that's what I wanted so bad.
Yeah, I got the burnt ends. It was good.
Good.
They were good.
Did you eat there more than once?
No, we just ate there once, and then we were kind of like, let's have some different food. So we went to different types of restaurants after that. We kind of didn't go to barbecue because we're kind of like, okay, we've had enough barbecue.
Yeah. So then after the Arthur Bryant's, we headed over to where the concert was because it was only like a mile or so away, a little over.
The T-Mobile.
The one good thing about
Arena.
Kansas City is you can find public parking where you don't have to pay.
Yeah, free.
Yeah, where normally anywhere around an arena, you'd have to pay $40, $50 for parking.
Yeah.
So that part was cool, and we weren't that far away.
Yeah.
So then we went to a place called McFadden's. And could you imagine what the Super Bowl party was like there?
Oh, I don't want to. It was already crowded that day for the concert.
Yeah, and we were right along the parade route because there was confetti still 3 days later everywhere.
Yeah, the red and yellow confetti. There were people complaining. I don't know if I told you this, but there were families complaining that the players were drinking while they were on the buses. And I'm like, oh, fuck off. They just won the Super Bowl and they're all adults. Let them have a beer. Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they were saying...
It's supposed to be a family event. We didn't like seeing them with beer bottles in their hand. It's like, first off, they didn't have the glass bottles. They had the aluminum ones.
Yeah. Well, it is the Bible Belt.
I know, but it's just like, give them a fucking break. They won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
They were just having fun.
I'm like, fuck off to the Bible Belt. Fuck off. Seriously.
I saw Mahomes and he got some shit from the same type of people because he kind of ran off the bus because someone had a Super Bowl replica trophy. Like they made it and it looked like just like the real trophy.
The Lombardi. Yeah.
Yeah, he took it and he was holding it up. And then he gets off the bus again and he goes off and just hands it to somebody random. But everybody thought that he just handed the real Super Bowl trophy to somebody.
Well, he could have thrown it in the river or in the
like
Boston Harbor. He could have thrown it.
That was Tampa. Tom almost bobbed it.
Oh, he did it in Tampa? I thought he did it when he played for the Patriots.
No, that was Tampa.
Yeah, see, I didn't see him do it. I've just heard the stories. So I assumed
he was a little drunk on tequila.
that yeah.
What if it was like avocado tequila?
Well, tequila, a lot of people that do like keto and whatnot, they can drink like tequila and vodka because it has like the least calories,
Yeah, but...
Or sugar or whatever.
It was cool. I think people were still partying from the previous weekend, though.
Oh, yeah. I think that town's going to be partying maybe for like a month. I mean...
Okay.
They got the Super Bowl champs. They have every right to,
Good for them. And then the morning before I had to fly out, we drove over to Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Oh, you're going into enemy territory." I'm like, "No, this stadium's just kind of iconic."
It's
you
a
know?
very old stadium.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and very unique the way it's shaped, and very this huge like saucer bowl type shape to it.
Yeah.
And they already had the Super Bowl banner up,
Yeah. They're champions.
so that was cool. Getting to go there.
Well, it was cool getting to go there too because my mom and aunt, they're from Kansas. So the Chiefs were always their team. They also like the Cardinals because they live in Arizona, but they were fans of the Chiefs when they were kids. So it was good that they got to go and get their picture taken especially my aunt, because she's a Chief freak.
Yeah, she got the Mahomes headband and everything.
Yeah, she got her boyfriend got her the Mahomes jersey with the Mahomes headband with the hair on it. And then when she was there, she bought herself one of the sock hats that has champions on it, Super Bowl champions and whatnot. And then they had to buy their older sister a souvenir, like a Super Bowl champions t-shirt was what she wanted because they're all Chiefs fans,
That's cool. I couldn't imagine growing up and having to drive in Kansas City. That'd be terrible. But I grew up driving in Boston, so I guess that's why Boston was familiar to me, because I can do it with my eyes closed.
Well,
and the left, right, left thing.
If you grew up it wouldn't be so bad if you grew up like on the outskirts part and not necessarily in the city. I mean, it would suck when you had to come to the city and then drive there, but I mean, it's probably not too bad when they're out of the city area. The city area is where it's really bad.
Yeah.
Driving in there.
By the time I dropped you off on Sunday and drove back to the airport, I had it down. I already knew. I left. I already knew. Okay, stay in the middle lane, stay in the left lane, stay in the right lane.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you get used to it eventually. But
yeah,
my first time. So that brings us to Springsteen.
The show.
Well,
the reason why we went to KC.
And I guess it's probably, I've lost track of how many times I've seen him. I'm going to estimate probably 18, 19.
Oh, wow.
And he's still got it.
God, I want to know what he's on. I'll have what he's having. At 74, running around the stage, like owning it, energetic as hell, dude. Yeah. I mean, and you can tell by him, like he's one of those people who, he was just born to do that, like he was born to be a performer, a songwriter,
Right. And I mean, that's why he's famous. He's famous for doing 3-hour shows.
Right.
On it.
Like, because he doesn't have the most amazing voice, but he's just cool, He's just cool.
No,
and he's an excellent songwriter, too. Yeah. I like his voice. I mean, I like it, but I'm saying, like, he doesn't have, like, one of those voices where it's like, wow, that is a powerful voice.
Right. And, I take videos, put them up on YouTube, and I post the one where he did Thunder Road, and he starts off with a harmonica. Uh-huh. And I didn't really notice it at the time, but he goes up to the side of the stage across from me, and there's a kid, I'd be 16, and he throws him the harmonica.
Oh, wow, and,
cool. His mom wrote me on YouTube and said, thank you for so much for capturing that moment, because it was my son's first Springsteen show, and he got the harmonica. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's why I like posting videos from concerts. So, something special happens like that, somebody's got that video now.
Yeah.
And, the only thing that was just a little bit disappointing was Clarence Clemens' nephew, Jake, is now the sax player. But he was out due to COVID.
Yeah, he got COVID, so he couldn't.
And that's been going through the band. Luckily, it didn't happen to Little Steven the night that we saw him, because Little Steven had missed a couple shows before Kansas City.
Oh, yeah, I would have been so sad if if I didn't get to see him, because I know it's Bruce Springsteen's band, But Little Stevie was always my favorite because I liked his headbands and his feather earrings, the total gypsy look that he had. I mean, I would dress like that sometimes. I'd put one, like a towel or whatever on so I could look like the dude from... I just always loved him.
Yeah, and I like it that he, while he's, strutting around stage, he's got that... he does the Sopranos faces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He just has these expressions where he doesn't really smile, but he just kind of smirks.
And it was cool when they came out and did the first song, he had a guitar for Ukraine. Like half of it was blue and half of it was yellow. So that was really awesome too.
Yeah. So Jake was out, but that band is so tight that the backup sax player, the guy that always stands in the back,
that guy was awesome too. Yeah. He was really good.
He didn't miss a note.
Yeah.
And I think Bruce said that he'd been in the band for 40 years and this was finally his chance to
yeah, that's what he said.
One of the funnier parts was though when they played the second song and he announced that Jake wouldn't be there because he was home. He was in the hotel eating barbecue with COVID.
Watching porn. And something else. I can't remember.
Yeah, but then they broke into it. Give me an F. Give me a U. Give me a C. Give me a K. And then he spelled out COVID. And what's that spell? And the whole audience,
COVID.
Fuck COVID.
And he goes, what's that spell? He's like, louder, Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah, and I guess I didn't want to ruin it for you because I didn't want to tell you what the show was like. But I knew that it wouldn't be. He just can't do all of his hits.
No, I know that, but he could have done a couple more if he didn't do grand finales after every single song. I was not expecting that. It was cool. Don't get me wrong, but it was I'm like. After the first one, I'm like, shouldn't this be for the end? And then it would be every single song would be a grand finale. And I'm like, I guess maybe he just does this.
Yeah, he would do the thing where the band, the horn section would be that, or the singers, and he'd raise his hand in the air and stop, stop. And they did that almost every song where they extended every song another minute or two.
Yeah.
Doing that. But I've seen Springsteen, so I know what to expect.
There was a ton of songs that I really loved that he did play. He played my favorite song. He played Glory Days. So that is my favorite Bruce Springsteen song. He played Badlands. He played Promised Land. He played Dancing in the Dark. I like that one too. I was expecting him to play Hungry Heart.
Yeah.
I'm on Fire. I'm like, those are real, those are super hits.
Yeah. And, he usually does do Hungry Heart. And when he plays that, usually the music starts, the intro, and he stops, and the whole crowd knows, they just know when you go to Bruce's song, okay, we're going to sing, got a wife and kids in Baltimore, Jack. They just know that. He doesn't sing that. The crowd sings it.
Oh, okay.
And then they kick in right after that.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It was still an excellent show. I mean, he's a great performer. Yeah. His band is cool.
I remember I was so Born in the USA came out when I was...
that's 4. The one. My mom was like, how is he not going to play Born in the USA? That's his most known one. And I'm like, I don't know. I thought that maybe he doesn't like playing it anymore because people don't realize that it's not really a super patriotic song like they think it is, So.
And that is the reason. And, he didn't like when Reagan took that song.
And ones after him too. Mitt Romney tried to use it too and was told no.
Yeah, but he did do Thunder Road, and when I was, I guess I'd be 8th grade after Born in the USA came out, and then I went back and I bought the previous albums, and I loved Thunder Road. Mm-hmm. So in my English class, my teacher said, well, I want you to write an essay on your favorite poet and your favorite poem. And I wrote it about Thunder Road.
Oh, and Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah. And
Cool.
I got an A.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, great show. He still got it. I don't think we're going to see those whole E Street Band tours that much anymore. I think this might be one of the last ones because the whole band is getting kind of older.
Yeah, they still rock though.
Yeah. Phenomenal show. So yeah, we go back to the hotel. I get back. It was a quick one weekend up. I flew up on Saturday, flew back on Sunday. And I think that's maybe why I was so tired on Monday, because I didn't choose to space it out at all.
Oh, I have one more question about Bruce's songs. Maybe you'll know this. He played one of my favorite songs is Because the Night. Is that a Springsteen song and other people do it? I've always thought it was somebody else's song. He did it.
He wrote it, but Patti Smith recorded it and she made it famous. It was a hit song.
Natalie Merchant.
Yeah. So yeah, he wrote that, and that was kind of like, Blinded by
10,000 Maniacs.
Blinded by the Light was a Manfred Mann made it a hit song, but Bruce wrote it.
Okay.
And that's kind of how he was more of a songwriter when he got started.
Yeah, he's really good at writing songs. I mean, his songs are great.
Yeah. So then I go back to the airport on, again. And I was just like thinking, I don't know where to pull off to eat. I'm just going to eat at the airport. And Kansas City's airport isn't as big as what you would think it would be.
Well, we got there the week. If we would have went there the following week, their new big airport would have been open. Like it opens, I think, this Friday.
Really?
Yeah, is when it opens.
And
the new big one.
I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. It looks really pretty.
Right there?
It's kind of like across the way from the. I didn't see it. I didn't see where it was when we were leaving to go get the rental car. When we came back and we were leaving Kansas City, then we saw it driving in.
Okay. So I figured, well, I'll just get something to eat. There must be a McDonald's or something in the terminal. And there wasn't. There was just the Budweiser Sports Lounge. But the Daytona 500 was going on, so I'm like, well, I don't want to go to the sports lounge and see the race because I've got it taped and I'll just watch it when I get home. So I didn't eat until I got back to Vegas. But when I get on the flight, I was like row 23 or something like that. And I go and there's somebody sitting in my seat, the three gentlemen sitting in my seat. And I was just like, hey, I'm 23C. And he holds up his phone. I'm 23C too. I'm like, oh no, they double booked somehow. And they were just like, well, just go to the back of the plane until we get this straightened out.
Okay.
So I get to the back of the plane, they start announcing, okay, we've got a full flight.
We're going to Las Vegas.
We've got a full flight going to Las Vegas. So, everybody find your seats really quick so we can get this thing going.
Vegas is not your final destination. This is your time to leave.
Well, but my initial panic is it's going to be a sold out flight. That guy's already got the seat. So I guess it's like finders keepers. And I'm going to be the one that has to get the boot until the next day when the next flight leaves Kansas City. I'm like, oh shit, I got to work the next day. And what am I going to do? And it's Spirit Airlines. Would they even give you a hotel room or something like that?
Probably not.
And then I'm like going, oh, now I would have to like get a Uber and I would have to like drive back into Kansas City again.
Yeah. Which
I was just like, oh no. So after about 15 minutes of panic, they found out that somehow these three people boarded the wrong plane.
And these three people didn't. Okay, so there was nobody sitting in A and B? Like more like you, like where they came up and said, I'm 23A and I'm 23B.
Two more people came in and they said, just wait in the back till we get this straightened out.
Okay, so then the people who were on the wrong flight, They didn't hear the announcement like, hey, we're going to Las Vegas. If Las Vegas is not your final destination, this is the time to leave.
Apparently not. Someone had to inform them that they got on the wrong plane.
Did they feel like dummies when they went over there and finally told them?
My question is, how did the boarding pass work when you scanned it?
Well, yeah. That's how would it work? But did they feel like big fat dummies whenever they finally came over there and said, you are on the wrong flight?
Well, they did have that kind of like that Simpsons, you hear the kid in the back.
Right? I know. Well, I would be laughing at him. And then if I was the one that did it, I would feel like such an idiot.
The only reason why I felt a little bit bad was because they boarded, and that's how they got the seat ahead of me, because they boarded with, do we have a veterans to board first? So that's the only reason why I wasn't like, be like, hey.
Well, he needs to use his free college then, his GI Bill. No offense, dude. But thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you for your service, yes. Mister. You were in my seat. And they were kind of adamant, like, nope, this is my seat. I'm like, oh.
That's why I'm saying, did they feel like douchebags when they're like,
they didn't.
You're on the wrong flight.
They didn't turn around and make eye contact with me.
Because they probably felt like douchebags. They're like, let's just hurry and get off of this plane.
So I made it home, but you continued to stay, right? Because you saw family while you were there. Right. What else did you do?
We went to the World War I Museum.
How was that? I wanted to go there if I had more time.
It's really good. It's an excellent museum. But yeah, I suggest if you ever go back there, it's well worth it to go to it. And then we also went to the art museum, and that also is an excellent museum to go to. And I would recommend it.
I can't see. He seems to have quite a few museums.
Yeah. I know we didn't have time for anything else, but
I guess there's like a money museum there. And there was like a miniature and small toy museum.
I know. I kind of wanted to go to that one because it just sounded funny. A whole museum of small toys.
What else is in Kansas City that was known for? It would have been too cold to go to the zoo there. But no, overall, fun weekend.
Yeah.
Fun weekend. Where else did you eat there? Anything that was really good?
Oh, I ate at this other, it's kind of like a better, Chili's or one of those, because it is a chain, I guess, because my aunt was saying how she did eat in one in Iowa, Granite City Brewery. Okay. And it was good, and they had good beers. So we ate lunch there one time.
Oh, and what was the name of the brewery that we were drinking that beer?
Boulevard. Oh my gosh. And we went there. We went there. So the night that you had to leave, we went out to eat at, we went down to the downtown area and we went into this bar and you could order food. A brewery. It was like a tap room. They don't brew beers there. So the restaurant right next to them, you can order food from them and then they'll bring it over. But, they have different liquor licenses, so you can't walk back and forth with it. And I tried some more Boulevards, and I was telling the bartender, I'm like, I love Boulevard. And he's like, have you been to their tap room yet? And I'm like, no, but now I'm going to go. Now I want to go. So, and I had to get a souvenir thing from Kansas City, so I ended up getting a Boulevard Brewery sweatshirt. And it's so awesome.
Now, do you know if they sell nationwide?
Somebody told me that they did. They were like, no, they do carry it nationwide. I'm like, well, next time I'll have to look.
Yeah, and then I was thinking, it's really good.
I was thinking of checking the Quick Stop here because he carries a lot of beers. And sometimes if he doesn't carry it, if you ask him, he'll get it. Yeah, he'll get it for you.
I would like to try more of that. And I mean, it's a pretty big brewery because they had a station at the Springsteen show where they sold it, and they had advertisements all over.
When you go to the tap room and whatnot, it's like the whole lot is all of their stuff, like their factory, and they've got stuff over. I mean, it's just all in this area, you know, like it just takes up a whole block almost. That's what I'm trying to say, you know, and it's got like the big old tap room too. That's like, I think that thing's 3 or 4 levels. I mean, yeah, you have to go like at least onto the second level to get the drinks and stuff. Like their store and whatnot is on the bottom level, and you can buy like the cans and bottles and whatnot.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to do that because our next podcast, I think we're going to do is Sunday, and we're going to make some ribs with this Gates rub, and we'll see if they have any Boulevard.
Yeah. At Quick Stop. Yeah. Totally.
What other flavors did you have? I mean, what was the one called that we had?
I don't know. I think that one was just like their
signature.
Yeah, like whatever the most popular one is. It's definitely not the Pilsner because I had that at the Tap House.
How was that one?
It was good. I mean, it was good for a Pilsner. Not like my favorite one or anything, but they had a banana split one. That was okay. It was a little too banana-y. The other one that I really liked, because I'm like on a sour kick, they have one called Berry Noir, which is like brewed also with wine. That's why they use Noir. That one is so good. And then my aunt had the other sour one that they make that's called Mango Jungle, and that one's good too.
I'm sure they have a website. Maybe we can even see if they ship.
Yeah, they had a ton of they have a lot more of their varieties at their tap room.
That one you just said sounds amazing.
Yeah, they're good.
Huh. Okay, well, hey, sorry we couldn't do this in Kansas City, but you know, all you would have heard was Siri the whole time going, "Turn left, now turn right, now turn left."
Right, and we might have gotten into an accident trying to do this and trying to navigate their crazy freeways.
Yeah. Okay, well, on that note, we'll wrap this up, and thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Kansas City. Arthur Bryant, we'll try again if we're ever back in Kansas City.
Right.
It's good food. But
thank you.
Yep,
I'm saying my thank yous.
Yep, and thanks to Snow's mom for tagging along with us. Experience.
And my aunt.
And your aunt.
Yeah.
Snow's aunt. All right. Bye, y'all, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.